Okay, what I want to speak to is, first of all, this is group stalking. That gray Jeep, it's on the cameras as well. Crossing path. Understand, from here, they're in relevant position and intentionally crossing path as I'm operating my communication device. This is what the entirety of the group does all the time. All right, at all times. What I was stating was, this is the state's fake sun that's present here at 2 something and understand it's been here at the same location, engaged in increasing light over here at the shaded wall. This is what I was describing. While the state is engaged in removing this shade and light is going farther and farther back toward the wall in order to touch. That's what the state's pattern of conduct is. Does the same thing under the amphitheater. The state engages in the aiming of light inside of this same venue. All right, it's over the venue. In the evening, it's merely changing the color where it is remaining with its light. How is a sun, this is supposed to be a sun, and it's present over the property, the physical address all day long, and then acts like it's setting, merely changing the color. This is the asininity, this is the idiotic, this is the creepy psychopath, stalker, and sex offender, okay? Remaining all day long with light. It's over the property all day long. That's the Ontario Ovid Library, and in the evening, it's acting like it's setting and light is inside of the entrance of the library, while it remains over directly above the side of the library all day long, while I'm sitting at the shaded area, while it remains in between, on beside me, while I'm sitting on the side area of this library over here, right? While I'm sitting at the shaded area. Let me show you by my finger, that shaded area where I showed video, and the state is piercing into that shade, flashing light while these group stalkers intentionally driving by, flashing light into the hallway of what's supposed to be a shaded area. State's fake sun on the opposite side of this apartment building, in between the senior center, like I stated. But yet it's also here all day long at the same time. That's not the same thing. And it also in the evening when it's acting like it's setting, light aimed inside of the library, okay? Psychopaths. And idiotic with it, okay? That's the prosecution of them. The people of the state of California, and they're on cameras engaging in P.O.C. All they're doing is monitoring, and it's pathetic, but they're sex offenders and they're engaged in corporate conduct. And understand, when they're engaged in monitoring via communication devices, they don't have to address you. All they have to do is this: they drive by. The state is creating the light activity. The state is the one that's flashing light. The state is the one that's aiming light onto all the surfaces all around, and they are intentionally present for that conduct because they're monitoring. That's P.O.C., by the way. All right? Psychopaths listening to every word that I say under a fake sun. There is no form whereby you are present. This is how a public entity monitors you. And this is on the west side of the big clock, okay? This psychopath, that is the state that flies in circles everywhere I go, in helicopters and planes where I go, engages in real time dragging that light source over there on the opposite side of this apartment building, okay? Because they're monitoring. They are monitoring. All of them are monitoring. He has been monitoring for hours, sitting around, walking by. That is the government that is remaining where you are, following everywhere that you go, and touching you repeatedly with light, and doing so with the people of the state of California who are fully engaged in that system. Okay? That's P.O.C. Surveillance cameras at Ontario Town Square, surveillance cameras at Wells Fargo, surveillance cameras at Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, all of them engaged in monitoring corporately. Those cameras are a means of documentation. It is proof of presence while the government is monitoring, and they are here monitoring with that state. That's a prosecution of the people of the state of California. It is 2:29 p.m. All right? That is P.O.C. And I also want to be clear, an supposed sun here is not going to result in piercing light through the shaded area underneath the library. Okay, it's also not going to result in light moving in underneath a structure such as the amphitheater. This is what the state engages in, engaging in stalking with light, coming in, and understand where a state engages in that, and you're documenting it, meaning you're aware that a government is monitoring you. That's a threat. Engaging and creeping in with its weapon of criminal conduct while all of them want to monitor you together, and they're touching you with this stalking light. That's a threat, and that is a very potent threat. And understand that this does not result in moving underneath that shaded structure like the state does, okay? Like I showed while the state was molesting with light and light piercing underneath that shaded area. That's the pattern of conduct, by the way, okay? That's what the state does everywhere it goes. everywhere the target individual goes, everywhere I go. I'm focusing in on them because they are monitoring. They represent the people of the state of California. They represent the malice. They represent the psychopath that's entirely focused on you while they're looking at a little feature on a little animal in the tree. They ain't focused. All they're doing is monitoring, and they're psychopath. That's a psychopath that does that. Okay? And that's P.O.C. They are acting with all of traffic that's monitoring. They are acting with the helicopters that are flying over and the planes that are flying over, and look at how they outwardly conduct themselves. This is the prosecution of the people of the state of California. Engaged in sexual violence, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsections 1, subsection 2. Never mind the face of a minor child, this despicable criminal uses the faces of children in order to engage in P.O.C. That's the superficial guise under which they are engaging in their malicious conduct. That's the government using and exploiting youth, not me. That's P.O.C.